This is a video on how to clean a chromatic harmonica. This is a Kongsheng LYRA 12-holer fitted with the Kettlewell frictionless mouthpiece slider. And of course the slider makes friction-free movement to new note hole positions. And you don't use saliva anymore, so you don't have, to lubricate between your lip and the mouthpiece. Your mouth goes like that, so harp stays clean, and the embouchure is relaxed versus having to do that. That's the slider. Now, to get the slider off, of course, the first thing is take it off. That's real easy. Now, let's talk a little bit about why harps need to be cleaned and what's right and wrong about some of the methods out there that may have been recommended to you. There's two principal areas that need cleaning on chromatic harmonica over time. Principally need cleaning because your breath has actually saliva in it, salts, chemicals, acids, and cells from the inside of your mouth and your trachea. And so that mouth goop will build up on the side of your mouthpiece sometimes, or on the inside there by the slide. That's one issue. The other one that's very common also is sticking breath savers. And what happens there is that the breath saver sits on the reed plate and lifts in play. But over time, a film of dried saliva forms on the underside of the breath saver, and they'll pop instead of coming up gradually the way they should. And contrary to what some videos from majors have said, like they'll suggest plunking a reed to clean the breath savers, that will do no good whatsoever. It will dislodge something sometimes that's stuck between the reed and the reed plate, but it's not going to improve the situation on the breath saver. If you want that mouth goop out of the underside of the breath saver, you have to get in there and clean it with a solvent. And of course, the universal solvent is water, H2O. So that's kind of why we clean these. And I do mine, I don't know, every 3 or every 4 weeks, sometimes every 6 weeks or 8 weeks, depending on the amount of how many hours a day I'm playing. But let's go over the method that I use. And by the way, to begin, if your harmonica has a wooden comb, this method will not work for you. But if you have plastic or metal, it will. Understand, first of all, that everything in a modern harmonica is waterproof. Mouthpiece is waterproof, the slide, the reeds, the breath savers, the covers, the reed plates. Every part here can withstand water without any damage at all. So I don't use soaps, I don't use chemicals. But let's see what I do. And hopefully you can watch the whole process. The first thing I do is take off the covers, and on a LYRA, these covers are independently held on. So you can take off one, and you remove the stanchions here, like this. And then you can come down here and remove this. So I'm just taking off the covers, not a big deal. I have a tendency usually to put my parts into a cover, or in this case, because I'm going to clean them right like that. I have this and this. Here's this. And here's our other stanchion. So we've gotten to here. Okay, and the next thing I'm going to do as part of the cleaning is I'm going to remove the mouthpiece. Now, you always want to be careful when you're taking a mouthpiece off that you do not lose those little bumpers. And on this harmonica, the bumpers are on these little posts that go into the comb. So I want to be careful not to lose that. And here's the other one. So here I have the parts, okay, and I'll take those screws out of the mouthpiece. So now what I have is I have a set of covers, a solid stainless steel mouthpiece from them. This is the slide, and this is what I call a flat blank that sits on top of the comb, and here's this. Now, so what are we going to do to clean clean the comb? Well, I just run it under water. I'm not hitting it with a powerful spray, but I'm getting in there and getting to each one of the chambers. And then I'll put the pot here and fill it up with water. Come on over here a little closer probably and see a little better what I'm up to. I'll go ahead and put it here. Now how warm should the water be? It should be warm, but not too hot. Not hot enough to melt a breast saver. And so I just kind of put the harp into this. And, you know, there's limits to the angles I've got available to help you here. I'm going to have to try and take this off the thing and try to shoot down. You just put it in the water, make sure the water comes up over the top of this, you know, comb top here. And just wiggle it, kind of back and forth a little bit. So this is the way that I would clean that comb assembly. I might do this, come in here, want to make sure that water gets in everywhere, and then I would hit it. A little bit more water here like this. And then tap it like this. Tap it like that. And then I get a glass, something like this. And I'll take and put the comb right on top of that, pulls down so it can dry. 5 to 6 hours from now it will be totally ready to go. Sometimes I'll take, if I'm in a little bit of a rush, and blow out some of that water a little. That can speed up that process. So that's that part. Now what do we do about these other components? Well, I take a toothbrush here, and I have just basic dishwashing soap, a little bit, come here. And I always, when I'm cleaning pieces, put them on something where they're supported. This is a flat blank. And I just quickly brush that. Same with this slide. Come in. Very gentle here. Come in here. On this mouthpiece, just cleaning. And then on the covers, same thing. Just cleaning. And like this. Now, when you go to clean off components of a harmonica that you've been cleaning with detergent, you have to be careful because you have to actually make sure that all of the soap residue gets off. And that takes more time in rinsing than you might think. And so you just want to be real careful. And with slides, you always want to be careful not to bang them or bend them because they will not work right after that. If you do have to reshape a slide, use a wooden mallet or a plastic mallet, never metal. And you want to pound on wood. Otherwise you will depress and change the shape of that metal. So I take a clean dish rag like this, and I just come here and I wipe that off, set it down, wipe this one off, set it down, here's the slide, come here, I'll blow it, there, and I have this, and like this, like that, and then I'll take the flat blank, and all these parts now can dry. Okay, now let me show you one more thing I do. I'll be right back. Anytime metal is moving against metal in a harmonica, I'll always lubricate that, and that would be the slide, because the construction, as you know, would be the comb, then the flat blank, then the slide, and then the mouthpiece. So the slide is actually moving against two pieces of metal. So I'll take Hetman's Lubricant 13, which is light bearing and linkage, available online. And I'll put a little drop on my fingertip, just a teeny bit like this. And I'll go like this. And now the slide is lubricated. And you'll find your harmonicas are quieter. And they kind of are more comfortable to play. The harp will be reconstructed. And we're good to go. Cleaning of a chromatic harmonica.